Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today a very easy recipe again, especially for those of you that have a hot air fryer. What I'm going to be making today is hot pockets with vegetables and minced meat, but like the basic recipe, because normally I would have a different couple of other spices, the Moroccan spices, but I know that many of you that are watching are not Moroccan, so most of you don't even know sometimes the spices that I refer to. So for example, the ras al hanout, I'm going to leave it out, but leave you with what you can get easily wherever you are. So what you need is tomato paste, I think it's called, paprika powder, preferably the smoked kind if you can find it, black pepper, and some garlic powder, soy sauce, I'll tell you why this, olive oil. I have here 600 grams of vegetables, different kind, whatever you want, really, whatever you want. Just chop it and dice it, cut it, anything goes. So I have here 600 grams pre-cut mixed vegetables, but these pieces are still too big. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut them even smaller, because remember, we will be stuffing hot pockets with whatever we're gonna end up with eventually. So it's very important that the vegetables is cut tiny, like I don't know, like the half of the top of your thumb or something. This is the minced meat. I don't want to gross you out, you guys, so I don't want to show it too long. But what I want to say about minced meat is that if it's frozen, if you take minced meat from your freezer, make sure, this is very important, that you always take it out the night before and put it in the fridge. So out of the freezer, in the fridge. Best thing to do is when you're working with minced meat is that you do not defrost it in a microwave or any other kind of speed up defrosting process. Just let it defrost, give it its time, which means you take it out of the freezer, you leave it in the fridge for at least a night. The next day, the next morning, you make sure that you take it out the plastic, because usually it's wrapped in plastic when we try to freeze it. Take it out of the plastic and then put it in something like this, like a sieve, so that, I know it's a little bit gross, but I need to show this to you guys. Those of you that are coming here for basic recipes and still need to learn a little bit about how to cook. If you can cook, then this is not for you, of course. You're on your own chef, but this is for the people that we get a lot of messages from, thanking us for some, basic things that we share with you. So the next day, so after one night in the fridge, take it out of the plastic and then put it in a sieve or something like this, and then in a bowl, and just let it drip so that all the blood and all the ice that melts, all the water will come off of it. That's the perfect minced meat, and that's what we will be working with. So to start, I'm gonna add about 1 tablespoon, because remember, minced meat always has fat. Just 1 tablespoon, if not less, of olive oil in your skillet, and put it on medium fire. That's what I'm gonna do, and then add the minced meat and try to take it apart with a wooden spoon. Just keep stirring it until it falls apart and becomes to get a color. Get rid of the pinkish color completely. Meanwhile, while that is happening, cut the vegetables in small pieces, and that's what I will be doing. So I'll see you in a bit. Guys, one other thing, if you don't have like one of these quote unquote fancy mixed vegetable little baggies, what you can do is also, at this point, I'm not going to do that because I have this, but if you don't have that, do the oil and then chop one onion in there, in the olive oil, and then just saute the onion more or less, and then add the minced meat. What you can do, if you don't have a lot of vegetables, just use 1 bell pepper. What else can you use? Leek, 1 bell pepper, stuff like that, and cut up some olives, green olives, if you happen to have them in your home. Cut them in small pieces, throw them in there also. A little bit of parsley, 1 tomato or 2. What else? Things like that. You don't really need a lot for this recipe, to make stuffing for the hot pocket. But I always try to, add as much vegetables in there as I can. So I always go with something like this, but just know that it's not necessary. I mean, you will have the same thing with one bell pepper and some olives and tomato, whatever actually. So just so you know that this is not obligatory. You can go many directions with this. So anyway, so I'm gonna add some olive in there and olive oil, and then start frying more or less the minced meat. See how much came off the minced meat? Otherwise, this would be in your food. We do not want that. X. There's the minced meat. And this is what I mean about breaking it apart with your wooden spoon. Just go at it like this till you make sure that it's all fallen apart. This is actually too much because I'm going to be making 10 hot pockets with puff pastry, little squares, so this is too much, but what can you do? As a Moroccan, you never learn to moderate when you're cooking. Mike always jokes that he's always like, where is the rest of the group? Since it's just me and him. Anyway, love it, love it. This is really nice meat. This butcher that we now have has really, we've had him for a month, and he has really some really good meat. It's fresh, it's clean, nice taste. So I'm gonna leave this, but not like leaving it, more like just leaving it for now. I'm gonna cut up the vegetables, but keep at it like this on between low and medium fire. So yeah, when it comes to vegetable size, something like this. See, I don't have big hands, but just give you an idea. So guys, if your minced meat is creating too much fluid in there, too much juice, what you can do at this point is drain it and then put it back with a little bit of olive oil. Look at this, you guys. It's like crumbled cookie. This is what you want. This is what happens when you defrost your minced meat in a natural way. Plus getting rid of the blood and all that. You end up with something like this. Nice minced meat that falls apart like, crumbled cookie. Anyway, I'm gonna finish chopping up the vegetables and start adding them in there once the minced meat reach this color. See? So there are my chopped vegetables. Don't worry about this. If you think you have too much vegetables in there, they will always shrink while cooking. So don't worry about that. What I do is I always give the minced meat and the vegetables the chance to mingle with each other. Give the minced meat the chance to absorb the taste and the flavors of the vegetables, because the vegetables are your main spices in a way. So it's the vegetables that give your food the flavor. Once that has happened, so give them the chance to mingle with each other and absorb each other's flavor of each other. Maybe about 4 minutes while stirring them gently, 3 or 4 minutes. Then we're gonna start adding the spices, because at that point the spices would not be only for the vegetables or only for the minced meat, it will be for them as a whole. So what I always like to do is, hey Siri, pause. We do not want copyright strike. What I always like to do at this point is take a little bit of the minced meat and then taste it. Is it soft? Because I hate, chewy minced meat in the hot pocket. So if it's soft, then it means you can go ahead and continue with the rest, which means adding the spices. So I'm gonna add this whole little can, which is 70 grams of tomato paste. I said tomato puree in another vlog, but Carol you corrected me, and I'm happy you did. I don't want to be misleading you guys by using the wrong words in English. So yeah, tomato paste. Grind a little bit of black pepper. Maybe about 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of the paprika, or the bell pepper as you guys call it elsewhere, powdered, preferably smoked. It just gives that smoky, nice flavor and taste and smell. I just love it. And then about 1 tablespoon, or if you want it a little bit salty for your taste, then maybe 2 tablespoons. But I don't, when you do not use salt but you use soy sauce, it makes it salty and it gives it a nice extra flavor. Try it, you guys, instead of the salt. And of course, a little bit of the garlic powder. So I'm gonna add a little bit of that, depending on how much you like it to be spiced, all in there. So there it is, guys. Especially with the tomato paste, make sure that you really mix it really well. You need to see the color of the tomato paste all over your skillet. So at this point, I'm gonna turn down the heat and just let it simmer. Maybe for about, let it simmer for about between 10 and 15 minutes. That's between 10 and 15 minutes. On low heat, just let it simmer with the lid on. Well, don't worry about the juices that will come off the whole thing, because we will be draining it. Because when you're working with puff pastry, you do not want to have too much juices in there, in your stuffing. So I'm gonna put a lid on this and let it simmer. So guys, this is what you want to see. I mean, at this point, you can just taste if it needs more salt or more spices for your taste. You can add some. If it's all okay with you, then turn it off and drain it. Remember, the vegetables don't have to be cooked to the way where they almost fall apart, because we're still going to stuff this into a puff pastry and then into the hot air fryer. So it's always nice to still have, some vegetables that you can actually feel and taste and chew, instead of having some vegetables paste. So because again, I'm still going to stuff the hot pockets and into the hot air fryer. So for me, this is nice. This is good. I'm gonna drain this, let it cool off, and then start making hot pockets. So into your sink, use one of these and pour your mixture in there, and then just stir it a little bit to help the juices escape from these little holes. If you're worried that the mixture will be too dry, then keep the skillet under this and do this while this is in this on top of, or you know what I mean, like in the skillet. So that way you will be able to catch the juices here, and if it's too dry for your taste, you can always add a little bit in there. But from my experience, from me and Mike, this is the way we like it. Again, you cannot have juices pouring out inside your puff pastry, because that will keep the puff pastry gooey inside and really not baked, and that's big no-no with puff pastry. It's big no-no. So anyway, I'm gonna let this cool off on the balcony because it's winter and it's cold. This should cool off within 5 or 6, 7 minutes tops. It's that cold outside. And then we're gonna start, making hot pockets. Meanwhile, guys, break an egg and just get the egg yolk and scramble it a little bit. What this does is we're going to brush the hot pockets with this, the top. Then we're going to add grind some pepper on top of that. And this gives it the nice, perfect goldish surface that you see when you buy the hot pockets from the store. So guys, this is how we defrost the puff pastry. And, they don't take too long. You do not want them to be like defrosted
Little sauce.
Yeah, little sauce, tiny sauce.
Tiny sauce.
You do not want them to be completely defrosted because otherwise they're gonna be soggy. I mean, instantly as soon as you start to stuffing them. So it's okay if they're still a little bit cold. They need to be a little bit firm, you know, to withstand the little heat that's still left over in the mixture.
And if you want to make a really tiny sauce,
If you want to make a
use this
really
one.
tiny, if you have a very tiny egg yolk. But I don't know. Would have that worked for the egg yolk?
This is just
For the
decorative.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, guys. So like I said, they don't have to be completely defrosted. Let them have still a little bit of the firmness. What sometimes also helps is if you don't have a lot of time, just hold them like this against the palm. That's the inside of your hand. You know, on your palm. Push them with the other hand. That also helps them to, you know, loosen up a little bit and start to jiggle. See, as soon as you see this, they're good, as far as I'm concerned, to be stuffed. So you take one of these puff pastries, you take the sticker thingy of it, the baking paper that comes on it, take it off it, bend it a little bit like this.
Wow.
Yeah. Then add 2 tablespoons and a little bit in there. But make sure that you do not smudge the edges, because if you smudge the edges, you won't be able
Smudge it.
to close it, because if it's greasy, the dough won't stick to each other as easily. So when you do that, that's what you end up with. And use a little fork. Use a little fork to push it like this, the top and the bottom with each other. Push it like this so that you make sure that it's closed. Otherwise, that's why it's called puff pastry. It's gonna be poofy.
It's gonna be all jiggly puff.
Anthony's gonna make fun of me again because I use the word poofy. It's gonna be poofy and then open up. You do not want that. So make sure that
Sort of like your hair.
sort of like my hair. You guys do not want to
It's a
see
bit
my hair.
poofy.
It's a little poofy. So Mike really needs to shave it off this weekend. Completely different topic.
You
So
didn't want me to do it last weekend.
no, I didn't feel like it, but now I do. Looking at myself in the mirror, I'm like, my God.
Hurry up.
Okay, so now you brush it with the egg yolk.
Yeah, but first we need 5 or 4.
Yeah. But the
So,
procedure for
snap
what?
to it.
So you brush it with the egg yolk, and Mike grinded some pepper in there. That's it. Just the complete the upper things, the surface. Okay, now I need to hurry up, you guys, because otherwise they're gonna start to be soggy. We do not want that. So there
And
you go.
Resume playback.
No, otherwise we're gonna get a copyright.
Oh.
So in the extra large, no, just 3.
Yeah, it's already
Okay.
stuck.
So Mike didn't do it right, but you can go up to 4 in there at the same time. Just put them on 180 degrees, and we usually do 5 or 6 minutes. Guys, one thing that you will never see in other recipe vlogs, because everyone tries to keep it fancy, but we try to keep it real. If the puff pastry is, how do you say that? Defrosting, you know, in a higher tempo than you want, at some point it will be very difficult to even try to keep them as a whole and stuff them and all that. So what you can do is just, you know, wrap them like you would with an envelope, like this. Doesn't matter, it will work also. Don't worry too much about it. So there you have it, guys. There you have it. These just came out of hot air fryer with the assistance of my lovely Mike, my lovely assistant. So there you have it. See, and this is what I mean by the egg yolk. This is what you want to have on your hot pocket. This delicious. So make sure that you don't use the egg white, because that ruins this. Otherwise it won't be as beautiful as this one.
The egg white is good as well.
No, it isn't.
We always do it
No.
with egg white. Just one
It's not.
egg. Just crack one egg, beat it up a little, and then use it on the
Yeah.
hot pockets.
That's
or
it.
everything else that you do in the air fryer.
No, I wouldn't. I really advise to do it. Use just the egg yolk. The effect is
Be
much.
careful, otherwise I'm going to show the ones.
I'm gonna
you,
smash this, and
yeah.
nobody's going to eat nothing.
effed up.
Just gonna smash this right here. We're gonna make a scene
What
in
is
this vlog.
What is this?
That's like a rock, lucky rock you find along the road.
Looks very weird.
It looks weird. I'm gonna finish that. But guys, I'm sorry I was trying to hide that one behind this,
Yeah,
but
I thought so.
I just told Mike, let's just show these.
Yeah, no way.
But this happens too, guys. Anyway,
Even to you.
to me, like I said,
Even
it's
to
too
you.
hot in the kitchen. So at some
hot in
point,
the kitchen?
the puff pastry is going to be all gooey and falling apart. And so this is how you save it. Turn it into some sort of an envelope.
So that's how you.
That's how I save
try
things.
to turn the story.
When it goes wrong, turn it to an envelope.
Hey Siri, resume playback.
All right, that was it, guys. Go enjoy it. We love you. Thank you so much. Happy holidays, by the way.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
It's delicious. Guys, I forgot one thing. The sauce. Actually, you can use any kind of sauce that you like, but Mike likes it with sweet and sour.
Likes it.
Sweet and sour. You know, the lumpia, the egg roll
Sweet
sauce,
chili sauce.
sweet chili sauce, and I like it with ketchup. Delicious.